Okay, so I'm going to be narrating over over the 4-hour game session that was recorded and well, technically it was 8 hours. But yeah, 8 hours of recording that I did all today, which today should be the day that it ends up getting posted. I'm gonna have to go through 4 hours of game footage and basically edit every single bit of it. Today I did. This is gonna be kind of a documentary format. So, wish me luck on commenting for you guys because I was way too angry to do it myself on there. So, there won't be any background music to this. No, I don't have enough time to do that. So, yeah, wish me luck, guys. Yeah. So the first game that I played was in the game, and needless to say, it went horribly. I ended up trapping literally no one because there was two people constantly following me the entire game, which I ended up killing the two that followed me the whole game, but I didn't get any traps, so Cripple them all still had to wait. Okay, so the second game was at the Rotting Fields, and I'm just gonna skip the boring details. I didn't trap literally anyone, and no one died either. So moving on. So, moving on to the next game, it was at the Coldwin Farms Thompson house, and I actually remember this one pretty well because I only got one trap out of the whole situation, and I ended up getting flashlight blinded right as I picked the girl up, but I'm pretty sure that still counted, and nothing else happened for the rest of the game. I ended up with 2 kills and no more traps, so yeah, that sucks. Welcome to the life of a trapper. Now, the next game was at Larry's Memorial, and this is when I started to get very irritated with what and this is when I started to get irritated with what all started to go wrong. And yeah, you could tell because I went the entire game as an M1 killer and ended up 4King because I played a bit on the dirty side, but ended up with no traps this game either. So hey, what can you do? The next game was at the Bettingham preschool, and this is when I actually started to make progress on my mission. I ended up failing 2 chases that ended with them falling into traps, which was very convenient for me. But nothing really else happened until the very end of the game, where somebody literally just yeah. And then I ended up catching the adept David, and I ended up letting him go because that's the right thing to do. Look, you see an adept David out there, give him a break. So the next one was at the suffocation pit, and I got very fortunate and ended up finding someone who was AFK. And it was at this point where I found out that Cripple Them All only accounts for like each survivor. So like the same survivor falling in two different traps won't count. It'll only count as one, if that makes sense. And I was fortunate to find an AFK player and immediately trapped underneath him. And after I did that, this happened. You took this from me. You you took this from me. You are miracle workers. You over there. Yes, you. Many thanks. And I tried to get the last person into the trap at the very end. Like, I tried, I really did, but it didn't work out that way. But still, that was 3 more counted on the board. Okay, so on to the next game. We went to the Rancid Abattoir, and nothing really special happened here. I got two very simple traps, and then the third one was while I was checking out the achievement itself. Because I wasn't expecting them to actually try to
If
come
anything,
for the
they've done
save
more right than
because
they
there was
have
only
wrong.
one other person left, so it didn't seem likely that they would come, but they did, and they ended up falling into a trap, and yeah, lucky me, ended up with 3 traps this game. So the next game was at Auto Haven Wreckers, and we had 3 very annoying survivors that were swiffing together, and it was very, I didn't get any traps, let's just say that. And they ended up dying, but again, without any progress means no results, and moving on. The next game was at Torment Creek Coldwind Farm. I noticed I've been to a lot of Coldwind Farms during this whole play session, but regardless, we ended up getting an object in our game. Yay! Those are the greatest. Needless to say, I ended up trapping up the entire basement with him in it. He died, but no one fell into a trap, which was very disappointing. In fact, no one fell into a trap the entire game, so it was a complete and utter waste of a game. So, moving on, our next game was at the chapel. And nothing happened here. We didn't trap anyone. In fact, the game started to lag, and I was starting to get very annoyed. So, I'm pretty sure I reset after this. I think. I don't know. It was a few hours ago. So the next game was at the Fractured Cowshed, and this was the game where I yielded the most results for the lowest reward. None of these traps counted for whatever reason. It was the stupidest thing I had ever seen. Plus, I ended up letting the Dwight ended up outsmarting my absolute genius idea to trap the exit. And I ended up walking over my own trap as he escaped. It was such a tragic event. The next game was just, So after I had taken a short break, I ended up coming back with a few friends, and tried at this challenge again.
Yeah, I would.
So this next game was at the Grim Pantry, and the Grim Pantry actually went pretty solid. I ended up getting 4 traps, and only 2 of them counted. So that was, pretty solid, all things considered. So our next game was at the Fractured Cowshed, and it didn't go quite as well. I ended up getting 1 trap, and I had the iridescent bar, I think it was. It was the purple add-on, the one that makes them immediately go into the dying state if they free themselves. And it didn't end up working out well, and I only ended up trapping 1 person, and it didn't even count, so... So our next game was at the Grim Pantry yet again, and I actually had a decent amount of traps this game. I think it was around 4, maybe 5. I don't think it was. I think it was 4. And I remember specifically a very stupid trap that I got. I was hooking someone, and then they immediately just fell into the trap that was literally right behind my feet. It was hilarious. So the next game was at the Bettingham Preschool, and this game was nothing special. I had a very rough beginning that led into this Bill running into a trap, and yeah, you can't see it, but I had just gotten the achievement, and it was very very nice. Here's you guys a look at the achievement along with its date. Oh my gosh, I am so done. I also mourned the guy in case you guys are wondering. But yeah, that is the Cripple Them All challenge. Will I ever do a video like this ever again? The answer to that question is absolutely not. This was an absolutely horrible idea. I don't recommend it on anyone. This was a really bad way to experience this game. Go seek help if you plan on getting this kind of challenge done. I'm just I'm just insane. Don't follow my example. I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching, for those of you who did watch. And as always, I'm getting out of here. Peace.